Hello. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you and see you very clearly.
Okay. How are you today?
I'm good. Adrija, am I saying that right? Adrija?
Yes,
Can you say it for me, please? I don't want to say your name incorrectly.
Adrija. It's Adrija Biswas.
Adrija. Adrija Biswas. Okay. It's a very, very nice name, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Adrija, welcome to your session. We've never met before. My name is Divyam, and I'll be your speaker for today, clearing out all your doubts and any questions you have. Okay.
Yes, sure.
Right. So as I can see over here, this is your 24th session,
Hmm.
right? So I can see you seem very happy and excited about this session. That's very
Yes, of
nice.
course.
Okay. Have you gone through the document?
Yes, I have seen it is winning the lottery.
Winning the lottery. Yes, definitely. So do you have any questions before we start talking about the document?
You can start. Yes. May I know where you live?
I live in Mumbai,
Oh,
south side
okay.
of Mumbai. What about you?
I am from West Bengal. Well, I don't live in Kolkata. I'm from north of West Bengal. It is a town known as Raiganj.
Raiganj. I've heard of that name somewhere. I think it's famous for something, if I'm not wrong. What is the most famous thing in your city? Like, what is it known for?
It is there is a forest over here. It is known as Kulik Forest, and it is quite
Mhm.
famous. Migratory birds come here and live. So, like, it's a really beautiful place.
Wow, it must be very nice to just, sit and look at these birds, right?
It is.
When is the season for these birds to land in that forest?
It is in winter.
So during the winters, you'll just be sitting out and watching all these beautiful birds come in from different parts of the country. Is that it?
Yes, and not only in that forest, like in this town also means the forest is just beside this town, but over here also in the trees, you can see those birds sometimes, and it's
Definitely.
just so beautiful.
Yeah, like because we understand boundaries, but animals don't really get it. So if you live close to a forest, your town or your city is as good as part of the forest for them. So as long as they get a good place to nestle in, to get comfortable, they don't care whether it's the forest or not.
Yes.
So I understand, but I really envy you because I live in Mumbai, and this is like a very, very chaotic town, and we don't really get to admire nature in its, best form. So
So do you
nice.
live
Okay.
like in the middle of the city?
Um, so have you ever heard of like Marine Drive, Chapati?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so I live like 2-3 kilometers away from that. So
Oh,
you can say that it is basically like a proper city. It's there isn't much green. There aren't many green patches or like there are parks, but then considering the city is so huge, the park doesn't really, it's a
hmm.
very small part of the land here. So yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It sometimes, it just feels so bland when you just look at the buildings and no trees. So I just don't get it because maybe, many apartments, they don't have any trees, but they should have it. 'Cause it looks really good when there is a big apartment and there's some like potted plants can also be there, but it looks really good.
Yeah. So the thing is, in a city, have you ever been to a big city?
Yes, I have been to Mumbai once.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the thing about greenery in Mumbai is that it's so rare that it's become sort of a status symbol, right? So let's say I was the secretary of my building complex. Okay. So my particular building is, we have two different buildings, the A wing and the B wing, and we have 4 flats on each floor, and we have 20 floors. So it's a huge society basically. I wouldn't say huge, but it's not small, right? So a lot of these societies and building complexes in the town, in the city, what they do is they sort of do this beautification process where they make it look like, they'll have these patches of, like, they'll have a garden, and they'll make it look more green so that they get better prices for their flats when they try to sell them,
Oh.
right?
Huh.
So at the end of the day, like, you see the color green a lot, but I'm originally from Rajasthan. Obviously, I was born and brought up in Mumbai. But when I do go back to my hometown with my parents, with my grandparents, I actually see what green looks like, what it's supposed to look like, because I come from a very small village in Rajasthan. So not me, my family comes from a very small village in Rajasthan. So when I actually go there, it's such a refreshing experience to just go there, and the air is clean, the food is so nice. It's You don't have to get those, you don't get a lot of junk food over there. It's such a relaxed lifestyle, so it's a great break from the everyday hustle and bustle from the city.
Yeah, it's really, in the cities, just these plants are used just for the beautification, not for just, keeping them as, as you love plants. So you are planting them, not for that, just, to beautify your place, to beautify your apartment. So, yes. And what about the pollution? Is it too polluted in Mumbai?
See, I'm gonna say I'm privileged. So I live in a part of the town where it's not that polluted. Okay, so um, obviously it's a little better than Delhi and Pune and Bangalore, these cities. But at the end of the day, any major metropolitan city will face these issues because of overcrowding, because of all the commercial activities going on, right? The number of cars that people have, like, it's a status symbol to have like 3 cars in the house,
Mhm.
right? So it is going to contribute to the pollution. But I don't know whether this is fortunately or unfortunately, but I am an introvert and I haven't left my house a lot in the last 2 years. I just sit at home. I cuddle with my dog. I finish my work. I take sessions. That's about it. So fortunately, I don't have to face it. So I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that question.
I get it.
Yeah. Okay. So Adrija, if you don't mind, now that I have been talking to you for about 10 or 11 minutes, I
Mhm.
want to know what is your goal, you know, what are your English speaking goals basically? Why are you at Clapingo? If you don't mind telling me.
Sure. The main reason, the exact main reason why I am on this platform is just because I love to talk, I love to converse, and it just feels so good. Like I have taken these sessions, and to meet different peoples and know about them, and just it's a really a good time. But yes, I do have some problems with English as well, like maybe the vocabulary sometimes. Like I know a lot of
Mhm.
vocabulary, but I just can't use it in a sentence. So vocabulary is one of the problems. And I don't know, because nobody was there to tell me, that you are wrong at this or you're right at this. So I just don't get my problems. But yes, I know this is one major problem, vocabulary, and others are okay.
Well, I wouldn't say vocabulary is a big problem for you. I think the more appropriate word would be vocabulary is an area of improvement for you,
Hmm.
right? So a problem would sort of be like, I can't express what I'm trying to say. Like, you just can't do it. You can't say words, right? That's a problem.
Yes.
You can't do it efficiently. If you can't do it quickly, then it's an area of improvement. It's just a little bit of improvement that you need, right? So
Hmm.
first thing I'll tell you is just start off with a positive attitude. I love how you are excited about the conversation. You always have a smile on your face. So that's a good start. Okay. Don't think about this as a huge problem. Just think about this as leveling up in a video game, right? So let's say you're at level 20 or 30 or 50 maybe, right? And you can max out at 100. Just think, okay, how can I get to 60? And then once you get to 60, how do I get to 70? It's just small steps, right? So even when you look at things around the world, like you look at how cars were made, you look at how any major thing, like how governments are formed, no one started off like, when the first car was made, it didn't have AC, it didn't have like electronic windows. It's basically a step of evolution, right? Like slowly people come up with better ideas. They came up with better tires, they came up with safer cars, the airbags, and then better wheels, no, not wheels, sorry, steering wheels, and etc., etc. So what I see a lot of people do it, at least all the learners in Clapingo, is they come here and they say, I've taken a subscription. At the end of it, I want the end result. And I tell them, that's not how it works. It's a small, it's really tiny, tiny steps. And you have to get to that place. And it's not just with English, it goes with everything in your life. Even when you look at careers, if you look at the CEO of Google today, he wasn't born and then became the CEO. He did a
Yes.
lot of internships. He did a lot of, jobs where he didn't get paid. He must have gone through a lot of struggle. But people just look at him as the CEO of Google. They don't see the struggle that he went through. So I'm pretty sure you are patient. Again, I don't know much about you. I just spoken to you for the last 12 minutes. But I'll just tell you one or two mistakes that you made earlier in this conversation. You said you're here to just have a conversation, meet different peoples. Now, can you tell me what the error is in that?
Can you repeat the sentence again?
So when I asked you what are your goals, you said I'm just here to have a conversation because in my environment I don't really have that exposure, and I'm here to meet different peoples.
Different people or different person. I don't know.
Exactly. So person is singular. That's correct what you said. You said peoples in your
Oh,
in your sentence.
okay. So it will be just people.
Exactly. You see, you know it. This is again what I was coming down to, because you said vocabulary. The issue is not that you don't know how to use it. It's theoretical knowledge over application, right? So you don't know how to apply it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. So here are a couple of exercises you can do to improve it. I don't know if any other speakers have suggested it. If they have, let me know. I'll stop talking. Um, Basically, you will know you're really good at English if you take a particular sentence and you can write that sentence in more than two ways. Okay. Now that can be 10 different versions or two different versions. It depends on the sentence, because there are limitless number of sentences in the English language, obviously. But you get my point. Take a simple sentence, right? And try to form it in a different way. Let's say you and I are college buddies, okay? And I'm telling my mom that I'm going out to meet Adrija, my friend from college. So I can say, Mom, I'm going to meet Adrija at the cafe. I'll be back at 8, right? Now there are a couple of ways I can say that. I can say, hey mom, I'm going out. Adrija and I are meeting at the cafe. Adrija and I are going out for coffee. We're preparing for our exams. Um, I want to catch up with Adrija, so I'll be back home by 8. So these are ways where you can use idioms, your vocabulary. You can use the word rendezvous over here, right?
Yes.
So you heard of the word rendezvous, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but you never used it though.
No.
Exactly. See, so this is, since you don't have these situations being created naturally in your environment, you have to artificially create them. Okay. The
Yes.
same way we don't build muscles because now we live in a society where we can press a button and everything, all the work is done. Like the lights are on,
Yes.
the fan is on, the AC is on. So we go to the gym, because back when we were cavemen, we didn't need the gym. We had to pick up things, we had to do the hard work,
Mhm.
and we had to build muscles like that. So to artificially create the situation of building muscles, we have to go to a gym, right? Same way, if you know you are lacking in a particular sector or in any particular field, try to artificially create that situation where you put yourself in controlled stress. That's what we call it, controlled stress. Okay.
Mhm.
So, building muscles is controlled stress. You're hurting yourself, but then eventually you grow the muscle because of it, right? So
Right.
try doing that. Now you need to get better at application, right? So what you can do is make a list of 10, 20 words that you would love to use in your everyday conversation, and make a sentence. Let's say rendezvous, okay? So we decided that the rendezvous is the Italian cafe at 8 o'clock. That's the sentence. Now, this is the sentence you're going to try to change while not using rendezvous, or using rendezvous in a different way. Okay. So take that sentence and then make different versions of that sentence and see how many you can come up with. Try using idioms, try using phrases, try using different words, switch it around, subject first, object later, object first, subject later, whatever is grammatically correct. I think you understood what I'm trying to say,
Yes,
right?
yes, of course.
I don't want to feel like I'm lecturing you over here. Okay. Okay, great. So the session's about to end any second now. I think I've done a good job in explaining how you can do better, right?
Yes, of course. It was thank you so much for your opinions. Like I'd surely try it.
Okay. Also, one thing I would like to tell you, and this is more on a personal level, I think if you want to continue doing Clapingo, you should. You have the personality of a YouTuber, by the way, so you can sort of make YouTube videos as a side project just to experiment and you know learn new things.
I do have a YouTube channel, and I have
Oh, great!
already
There we go.
posted. I've already posted like I don't know 24 of clapping of videos already.
See, then this is redundant.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I can sense the how you're presentable, how you always have a happy, that nature of yours is so extroverted and a very charismatic. Is that the correct word to use? I'm not sure. But I think you got that, like you got what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes.
Right. So maybe we'll have to clip out that last part in your next YouTube video.
Yeah, of course. Yes, yes.
All right. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I think we are out of time. Sure, I would
Yeah.
again love to meet you.
Yeah, I hope we have a session again together. It's great talking to you. It was very nice meeting you. And good luck with your exercises and all the things that you're going to do.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Bye.
great. Have a nice weekend. Oh, sorry. Have a nice week. Not a weekend, sorry.
Hmm.
Bye bye.
Bye.